so is mask off my sky because I don't want to get anything on my sky to mess that up. And you can see I just painted my blue, added my clouds, and I just ended it right along here. So I think I'm going to take some tape and just a little bit up into the blue, maybe about a 1/4 inch or more up. I am going to add some tape. Okay, I'm so anal, I can't stand it. I want to make sure, I want to make sure it's level. So that is 3 3/8. That is 3 3/8. Dang, I'm good. So I'm just gonna mask that off so that I have a level horizon. Thank you for the sprinkles. I can see you a little bit. So mask that off. I'm gonna press that down a little to try to avoid any seepage. So the first thing I want to do, I think, is go ahead and add my sand. Okay, so I am going to use this coarse texture gel made by Liquitex Basics. I'm pretty sure I bought this at the Hobby Lobby. But it's like a gritty texture. It's like, it's almost like a sandy texture. So you can make this on your own with just Elmer's glue and sand if you want. Now this product is actually a little bit translucent. So I am going to find my palette knife. Where are you, little palette knife? And I'm gonna mix a little bit of color in with my, what is this? Coarse texture gel. I'm gonna mix a little bit of a sandy color, and this is Bleach Sand by Americana. So I'm gonna just squirt, I don't know, about 25%, just enough to, you know, give that an actual sandy color because the coarse texture gel is translucent, so it'll just dry kind of whitish clear. So now I am going to, I actually want to add my sand down here, and then I'm going to thin it out as I go because I do want to add some water over the sand. So I'll do it a little thicker at the bottom. Let's just do it. Less talking, more painting, right? I'm being a little sassy today. Feeling some sass. So we're going to add some sand to the bottom. What is that? I don't like it. Whatever it is, we'll just move that off. Some little blob of something. Okay, so I'm going to very thinly pull some of that up towards the top. We're probably going to have to blow dry this a little bit so we can do our water. Maybe I should have done this before, but that's all right. Not even going to try to cover it 100%, but I am going to just take my finger and smooth out that edge a little. We'll wipe that off. So it's a nice thin line. Yeah, it's not Destin sand. Destin sand's white as snow. But that's okay too. I love Destin sand. You'd never appreciate how beautiful Destin sand is till you go somewhere else and see their sand. Okay, so I just added a little bit of a sand color to my coarse texture gel to give it a little bit of a more of a sandy color. So I need to let this dry, but in the meantime, what I'm gonna do is just come in and I'm gonna lay this palette knife flat against our texture and just pull it so it actually kind of creates that look of sand. So it's not perfectly smooth. We'll pat some out. I don't want it to be perfectly smooth. I I want it to actually look like sand. If I could do little baby footprints in it, I would. Okay, so now I really need this to dry. So I think I'm gonna annoy you guys for 2 seconds with my hair dryer, if I can find it. So actually, I'm gonna tilt my camera up just a little. Hey, Joanne, you're already in boot camp, so I'm confused. Joanne, you are in the spring boot camp from 2020. So I'm confused. You don't need to join again. You're already in there. Okay, so I'm going to just take 2 seconds. I'm going to put this on low so I can still hear you guys. And I'm going to move it a little closer to me so I can read your questions and bend over and read and talk to you for 2 seconds while I try to get some of this dry. So, yeah, Joanne, send me an email or something because I checked after I got off the line with Heidi today, and you are already you already paid for a boot camp from March, and so you're already in there, sweetheart. So don't join again. You don't need to pay. You have lifetime access to that boot camp, so you don't need to join again. So I'm just going to run my finger along it because I kind of like the texture, and I accidentally did that just now with my finger, but I kind of like it, so I am going to do it some more. It kind of creates a little different texture. So I'm going to blow dry and talk some more. So if you haven't joined boot camp, if you've already taken boot camp, you do not need to join again. You have lifetime access to the boot camp that you joined. It's the same boot camp. We do have a new Facebook page, but it is the same boot camp because we kind of start from scratch answering questions with new people. So you still have access to your old boot camp Facebook page. But if you would love to join boot camp and come play with us for a couple of weeks and make some art, we'd love for you to join us. You can just comment the word boot camp and I will send you a link with more information on how to join. So this stuff is not wanting to dry, so we're just going to keep on keeping on. Lord have mercy. I should have done this before we started. Annoying the masses, that's what I'm doing. Ask me if I care. So, anybody want to chat? Want to talk about some, I have questions, anything about what's happening in the world? Yeah, the texture's great. I kind of chomped it up a little. So I really want this dry because I want to do my ocean, and I also want to go ahead and resin as well. I'm going to smooth that out just a little at the top. Hang on, I'm making a mess. And I went ahead and brought the sand all the way up to the skyline because you know what? There is sand under the water, so. What? Somebody's asking that I missed the clouds video. The clouds video is only in the, we're doing that today in the Shattered Circle at 6 p.m. So if you're in the Shattered Circle, you get to watch the clouds. Let's see. It's 8 by 8, Wendy. It's getting there, guys. It's getting there. I promise. It's starting to tack up. Just one more minute or so. Yeah, last night we painted just the blue background for the sky. And tonight at 6 p.m. in the Shattered Circle, we're going to do our clouds. think we're good. I'm gonna hit it on cool for a minute just to cool it off. That's hot. Okay. That was annoying as all get out. Okay, it's a little warm, so we're just gonna chat for 10 more seconds. Linda, I did put a little bit of makeup on my cheeks today because I couldn't stand it. And I don't really wear a lot of makeup, just some face powder and a little bit of eyeliner. But one of my eyelids still feels like it's burnt off. But for the most part, I'm better. I am so much better. Where do you live, girl, that your governor wants to keep the state closed? Now, I have to say this. I'm in Mississippi, and I don't understand anything that's happening in my state because they opened restaurants this week, but they are not opening hair salons, which makes 0 sense to me whatsoever. Because more people will be in a restaurant than they will in a hair salon. Hair salon, hairstylist unite. Us girls need our hair styled. Okay, let's see. I think we're going to be about ready. Yeah, see, I'm in Mississippi too. Tate needs to get a grip. I don't know who's controlling the narrative there, but he needs to get a grip. Us small businesses are about to just go completely under. All right, so let's just move on. I don't want to talk about all that. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is add my water. Now I've added this tape line where my water starts. So I'm going to bring my ocean about halfway down into this sand. And we're going to use 3 colors, I think. Thank you. Yeah, he needs his, I'm going to be quiet. So I'm using, this is Americana Desert Turquoise. And I'm going to use a tiny bit of the Prussian Blue by Americana. Just a teeny bit. And also just a little bit of the Waterfall by Delta. So we'll see what happens. And I'm also going to put some white on my plate. So we're just toying with color. Oh my gosh. I don't know what's happening here. I had something, hang on. I'm having issues. I had to take the top off because it was kind of clogged up with something. That's right, no politics. I definitely never get political on this page. But I'm ready to get my hair done. It's crazy. I can go to the grocery store, but I can't go to the hair salon. Okay, so 4 colors. We have Prussian, we have Desert Turquoise, we have Waterfall, and white. So I'm trying to decide if I want to use my brush or if I want to use my palette knife, but I think I'll start with a brush and then maybe add some texture with palette knife. So I'm going to start with my darkest color, which is the Prussian. So I don't know if you guys can see my plate. So I'm going to just rub into the tips of my brush into the Prussian blue. And then I'm just going to hit right along that tape line. Maybe a 1/4 inch right over that sand. Yes, it is definitely an unplanned live. It was, I'd practiced with my clouds yesterday, and then I just decided this piece turned out so pretty. My little practice canvas had turned out so pretty that I just decided to come on here and do a little something with it. Because otherwise it would probably sit in my studio for a month. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go into a little bit of the Desert Turquoise, and I'm just gonna start blending and adding color to my water. So you blend one into the other. So it creates several different shades of blues. I'll add a little bit of a little bit of white, just to add another touch of color. So I'm just gonna go back and forth with my colors, flying by the seat of said pants, and create a little bit of watery look over the top of I'm gonna probably come about halfway down. Get a little bit of that dark blue and add in a couple places. So I'm gonna come down, I'm thinking, to about right here. So we'll kind of make that line, and we won't make it straight across. We're gonna kind of make it a little wiggly. Because water doesn't come to the shore in a straight line. So I'm just going back and forth between my colors, because water also isn't one solid color now, is it? And the closer I get to shore, the lighter my colors are gonna be, so I'll start adding in some more white. Some of that wave action. I like the desert turquoise best. So we'll probably come back in and add a little bit here and there of, okay, so I think we'll go like a little bit of a swoop. So I'm just futzing, y'all. Let's fill that in with color. Then I'll come back and start adding other stuff. White. I think I'm gonna see about using my palette knife. I'm just going to, that one's doity. I'm just going to take my palette knife and just press it lightly into the white. Offload it a little, and I'm just gonna go, I don't even know what's gonna happen, so hold your breath. Now like that, we'll do it again. Offload a little, let's go this way. Oh yeah, can you see what happened? Just little speckles, me likey. Let's do it again, get in some of that white. Always take the chance. You can always fix it if it turns out icky. I'm digging that. I'm digging it. I'm gonna smooth some of it out. And what I want to do is we're gonna blow dry this too. And then we're gonna add a little bit, let me clean my brush. We're gonna add a little bit of resin, white to the resin, and make a few like foamy waves coming in. So we're gonna whiten up the edge just a little bit so that that's not a hard line when we add our resin. Yeah, that turned out pretty cool. Now, that also was all about that texture because I had added that sand underneath the water, so that what happened was that texture, or the white, grabbed onto that texture. I need a smidge more of that dark color. So I can't wait to pull my tape so I can see what's happening. The tape is distracting me. So just adding a little more of that Prussian back to a couple of spots. That's the dark, dark, dark navy-ish blue. All right, I'm digging that. So I'm gonna put this aside, this aside, this aside. I need to keep my white. And let's pull this tape off and see what we have. Especially, oh guys, check that out. No seepage. That looks great. Can you see that? Our sand. It's a little bit wet still, but check that out. I'm trying to see if you can see the whole thing. So check that out. That looks awesome. So what I want to do now is just, this iPad is on my last stinking nerve. Well, what I'm going to do now is mix up just a little bit of resin, maybe just like an ounce. And so I'm going to use the baby cups. So, because I'm not going to add any glass to this. Actually, I may add just a smidge of clear. I don't know yet. I may add, just do the resin and then come back and add glass if I decide to. But for now, I'm just going to focus on the resin. So I'm going to mix an ounce. So I'll do a ½ ounce in each of my little baby cups. And then I'll take a little bit of that separate and we'll make some wave or some foamy white waves out of that. I know, it's making me miss the beach too. I'm sending you some stars and love. I don't know what stars mean, but thank you for sending me stars. Thank you. I'm assuming stars is a good thing. Okay, so let me get my gloves. So I'm down to this. Thank you. You know who you are for sending me that. Stars. Sending me stars. I like stars. Okay, pink gloves today, and I'm gonna wipe these off when I'm done so I can reuse them because I am getting down to the nitty-gritty when it comes to gloves. Actually, let me hit this with a blow dryer real quick before we start mixing the resin. So close your ears. I'm gonna hit this for 2 seconds with a blow dryer. A tip. Stars are tips? I do like stars. Thank you, Miss Gretchen. Okay, I think that's dry, so I'm gonna push it aside. Where'd he go to get them? I think for every star, you get a penny. I need stars. Oh my goodness. Look at the star next to Smiley in the comments. Oh, see? Every time you lose faith in Facebook, they do something nice, don't they? Goodness gracious. And every penny helps, doesn't? You hit gold star and can purchase a new thing. I've never heard of stars. Okay. My tech person must have did that. Because y'all know I ain't no tech person. Okay, so I'm going to mix up some resin. Well, I'm going to just mix a ½ ounce of each. So we're going to do a ½ ounce in 1 cup. I need to mark my cup because the lines on these boogers are awful. Let me see if I can use an ink pen. I'm getting stars. Thank you, Janie, for stars. So let's see, ½ ounce. I'm going to mark that line. And where's the ounce? ½ ounce. We'll mark that line. So I'm going to mix the resin or the hardener and 1/2 ounce up to my little marked line. Go slow because it builds fast. There we go. And we'll do 1/2 ounce of the resin in this cup up to the line. You are a superstar, Rima. Superstar. Go slow when it reaches close so you don't over mix. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, hey Cynthia, now I'm going to get me a little baby stick. A little bitty baby coffee stirrer for this little cup, and I'm going to mix these together. Rima's here, so she's going to be my timer lady. That has become her new position in the group. She keeps me straight, keeps me in line, and makes sure I am well. She is definitely a friend to have. Okay, so mix them together. Now I'm going to take 3 minutes and stir. So I'm starting now, Miss Rima. That's a full cup. I don't know. I see a little right beside it on my page. It says how many people are here, and then it says 400 stars, but I don't know. You got them when you updated. Okay, I already started without you, Rima. Thank you, Maureen. Rima's worried about stars. Rima's still mad over the beach piece. I love you, Rima, so much. You know I do. Rima, my girl. Oh, that's $4? Woohoo! Hey, $4 is $4, ain't it? You guys are awesome. I stinking love that. I wonder what that's all about. Love it. Love it. So I'm stirring slowly, mixing my little resins together. And then I'm going to separate a little bit in a separate cup. And we are going to resin everything just a little. Oh, good. Oh, I know you're not mad, Rima. I'm just messing with you. Just messing with ya. Have you guys ever tinted? Give me some thumbs up if you've tinted your resin and created some waviness and some lacing with your beachy pieces. I know some of you have because you're in my group. Well, we're gonna make some pretties. Aren't they pearly? One of the members was kind enough to send me a bag of gloves because I had mentioned that I was running low. So I have to be super cautious about, making sure I don't forget to clean them. And look at all the thumbs up. I don't forget to clean them and reuse them or I'm gonna be out of luck. One to go. Look at all you lacies. Look at all you tinters. Love it. Love it. Cool beans. This is probably too much for this little piece, but I've got some other things to do, so. I got about 6 pieces lined up on my table. Little ones. So it ain't no biggie. All right, Rima, this feels like 70 days. Kind of like how long we've been in quarantine with my skunk hair. I'm about done with the skunk hair. I I don't know, Patty. Somebody sent them to me. So I don't know. They're a little tight for my big old fat hands, but beggars can't be choosers. But they are kind of iridescent. Yay! Okay, so I am going to actually pour into this other cup just about 1/4 of my white. And I'm going to give that another quick stir. Whoops. I'm going to give that another quick stir because this cup had, you know, a single part in it. So I'm going to just give it another minute to make sure there's no stickiness involved. Now the first thing I'm going to do is just cover my piece, okay? So I'm going to take the clear and I'm going to cover my piece. Let me see if I have another stir stick. I do. So I'm just going to put a little clear on the top and just spread it with my hands. Try to minimize my contamination. Oh wow, this really makes those clouds pop. That's a big hand. I do have big hands, Rima. I got big old man hands. Not sure where those came from. So now I'm going to bring a little bit of that down into my water. Get that covered. And I am just going to use my fingers. I'm not going to pour any down here, but I'm just going to use my fingers to just get a little bit of that resin down in the sand. Not too much, just enough to float my white. Okay, now I am going to wipe my hand off. Whoop! Excuse me. I'm going to wipe this resin off real quick. Clean. Oh, I didn't see that. So now I'm going to take what's left in my cup, and I am going to add a little bit of Anita's white to my resin, or I'm not because it won't come out. So I will take what's on my plate. The top of that is gooey. So that's probably, I don't know, let's see, 1/4 ounce of resin and maybe a teaspoon of white. You don't want to add too much because it will jack up your resin and make it kind of ooey. So just enough to give you some good color. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a piece of tape. I don't see a hand. I'm just going to take a piece of tape right here. And then I'm going to take some of my resin and just see how opaque that is. And it's really not as white as I need it to be. You throw that away. So I'm going to add a little bit more of the white to it. I don't see a hand. Just a smidge more white. Ooh. Just to give it a little opacity. My iPad never did work. Stir that up really nicely. And what I'm going to do is first come right along the edge of my water line. Okay, I'm going to be very careful not to drip it where I don't want it. So I'm going to come right along my water line and just drip it, drizzle. Oops, see what I did? I dripped it way up there in the sky. That's okay. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get my other stick and just kind of blend it out. Where'd the other one go? Right there. And then we're gonna add a little bit of it up here. So I'm trying to create some of the wave look, and you'll see what I'm talking about in just a second. Add a little more here. So now I'm gonna do something crazy. I wish I had a straw. I do have a straw, but it's got tea in it. Let me see if I can use it. Hang on. Okay, so I'm gonna use this straw. And what I'm gonna do is blow. I'm gonna flip this around because I wanna blow the resin towards my beach. So I'm gonna bend over, I should put my hair up, and I'm just gonna blow lightly right along that line where I put that white. Let me see if I can get closer. Hang on. Whoop, let's don't go over the edge. I'm going sideways. Y'all are gonna kill me, but I just realized my torch is downstairs. It is just acrylic white and resin. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. I wanna come down into my sand a little. So I'm gonna just bring it down. I really need my heat. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna blow it towards the sand. That gives it a really more organic look, if you can see that. Now I think what I'm actually gonna do is take my white and add, whoops, more white to it. Hang on, we're just fiddle farting. We're going crazy now. Nobody's home to bring me my blowtorch, and I'm panicking now, so give me a second. I should have another one up here, but I don't know where it is. Didn't know where it is. And Miss Carolyn, if you're here, I found my mister today. So I added some more white to this, and I'm just going to add right along the shoreline some of this darker, less translucent. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I will bring it a little closer to you in just a second. So I'm just trying to create a little bit of foamy. You know how when you look out at the water, you can see the waves break in, and it's always a little lighter there. We'll see how it goes. I may have to run get my torch, and if y'all want to log off, I understand. All right, let me wipe my fingers. I'm gonna blow this again. I'm just using a straw and blowing towards the white. I'm gonna go linear too. Now I need the heat to really break it up and make it lacy. So 30 seconds, I'll be right back. Gotta get it. It's a necessity. Talk amongst yourselves. Gosh, I'm too old for running, y'all. So the heat is really gonna make a difference. The heat is gonna break up some of that white. So I want you to watch what happens. I'm gonna try to get it a little closer. I don't know if you can see or not, but when I hit with the torch, it breaks up some of that white. Whoops, that was too much. Almost burnt my glove too. Hang on. So we end up with, hang on one second, I gotta do something. I'm out of breath. Oh, lucky. Got a little white up there I wanna kinda blend out. We'll tilt it down and let it run a little. But this is awesome. Look at this. Can you see the beach and the white? I know, I ran, man. Whew. So this is our piece. I am very pleased with how this turned out. I don't think I'm gonna add any glass to this at all. I like the way it turned out as is. So sometimes, you know, it's okay to do that.